Let me talk my shit real quick. I was sleeping. I was sleeping. I was sound asleep. I was enjoying my sleep. I'm lying. I'm straight lying to you lot. You know what I'm saying? Me and sleep do not have a good relationship in the slightest. Today was the first time that I struggled to get to sleep since I started keto properly, like how I used to. When I first started keto, I used to get into bed, lights out. I remembered how it felt to actually be able to fall asleep when you get into bed. That's such an amazing feeling. If you have that, cherish that. Cherish that because you might not have it. You might not always have it. And when you don't have it, you realize how nice it is to have that ability. You realize how much of a blessing it is. So listen, count your blessings, be grateful. Do you know what I'm saying? Show a little appreciation. Show a little appreciation. Right now, my face is burning. And this is exactly how I felt in the middle of the night. I woke up, I'm touching my face. I'm like, oh my god, why am I hot like this? Why am I burning? What's going on? And then my feet as well. I have to put my feet out of the cover, but the fan on my face is still not working. It's still not going down. And I woke up to eat now. It's cool. But then even after I go back to bed, which is probably not a great idea, going back to bed after I eat in the morning, I'm gonna stop doing because eating causes your core body temperature to rise. I'm going to sleep, which is which is the opposite of what I want my body temperature to do when I'm sleeping, right? And it also slows down digestion. And so it's just overall not a good idea. Like if I haven't got enough sleep, I was advised to do a yoga nidra or a NSDR. And I fuck up NSDRs. You know what NSDR is? It's a non-sleep deep rest meditation technique. And the first meditation, I think that's the first meditation technique I ever tried. I lied. I got my meditation techniques from Andrew Huberman at first. I was just listening to one of his things, one of his podcasts. I used to listen to a lot of his podcasts. He still makes podcasts, in it, but I guess I'm just not tapped in anymore. But I used to listen to a lot of them, and he was talking about meditation one time, and I've always like it was one of the ones I hadn't actually tried meditation yet, and I was like, I actually want to try it. And he was talking about the most simple version of what meditation actually is, and it's literally just so there's exteroceptive exteroceptive or there's interoceptive and exteroceptive. I think exteroceptive is the word, but essentially one is focusing on the outside, one and the other interoception is focused on the inside. So on the inside, you just literally close your eyes and just exist. You can notice your thoughts come in, but the thing is with thoughts, you can thoughts only make themselves. You can only continue a thought if you focus on the thought, right? You can only continue a thought if you focus on the thought. So the act of meditation is to allow those thoughts to arise because we don't know where they come from. I don't have control over what thoughts arise and what thoughts don't. But with practice, with time, I can learn to ignore them. I can learn to notice one come up and let it disappear, right? I can learn to notice one come up and let it disappear. And then over time, once you get into that state, less and less will rise to the surface because your body will realize the state that you're entering. What is it? What do they call it? So there's gamma waves, alpha waves. That's the state that you enter in deep meditation, and it's sort of a more slow, it's a more slow sort of wave, more rhythmic. They say that you're more suggestive in these sorts of mindsets, and then beta waves is the normal waking wave, right? Please give me some grace. Give me some grace. I've survived a very hard night of sleep yet again. But as I was saying, beta waves are the waking waves, which are higher frequency. Alpha waves, slower frequency. And then you got the delta waves. No, you got the theta waves before that, which is like the transition between alpha waves and theta and delta waves. No? Yeah, it's a transition between it's the waves that you have just before going to sleep. And this is where you have the most amount of creativity. And I know you guys have heard of that, heard about that. I don't know who it was, but there was a person who was a creative, of course, and he just he used to sit back, lie in his chair, wait till he was on the verge of falling asleep, and as soon as he was about to fall asleep, he had something in his hand. He had something in his hand, and of course, when he fell asleep, he dropped it. Doom. And because he would wake up in that delta wave state, he would then all his creative ideas. He would have all of these different ideas come to him, and I guess it's just the altered state to it's an altered state which allows for you to think about things which you wouldn't have otherwise thought of, make different connections here and there, which I guess is the just the definition of being creative. I'm literally just saying you're just more creative in that space, in more words. But then after theta waves, you get to delta waves, which is where you're just sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Where you're just sleeping. But anyways, tangent. I'm talking about meditation. But yeah, after I tried interoception and exteroception meditation, where the practice is literally just you sit there, either your eyes closed, you focus on a point, and you focus on that point for the whole time, let's say 10 minutes, or your eyes are closed and you can't really focus on anything, right? It's just black. It's just dark. You just have to practice sitting there and not engaging with your thoughts, just existing. Just existence, just awareness. That is our essence. And the ego is the enemy. The ego is the enemy. The ego is what makes us think that we are somehow so distinct from everybody else, that we have to protect our our individual identities and shun people who are different and isolate. The ego is the enemy. I'm laughing because it just came from a video that I watched. The ego is the enemy, and I kind of hear it. There was this one thing which said that it kind of made a distinction between self love and love for others, something like that. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure what it was. It was something like fear. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Something like is what fear is isolating and love is for everyone. Something along those lines. I can't put my finger on it at this moment in time. Something like that. Fear is, I mean, if we just think about this logically, think about this rationally, when you bear with me 1 second, that fear, if we just go through the emotions, fear is something you can command through fear. You can influence and have power. And that could be, and fear could be your driving factor. In fact, fear is the most powerful emotion when it comes to influence. It's the most powerful driver for human beings. That's why it's everywhere on the news. It's politics. It's if you don't do this, this is gonna happen. It's attacking the other side. If you don't do that, this da 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 da. They're always trying to rile you up. They're always trying to put you in flight or fight mode. They're always trying to put you in survival mode. So you don't think rationally, and you think me v them. If all the politicians these days was to go around like they did back in the old days, where they used to debate to learn rather than to win a point, rather than to shun the other, rather than to make someone to be painted out like so different, rather than to villainize, They used to debate to learn. There used to be spectacles. There used to people come and watch. We need that. We need more of that in today's society. We need more of the spreading of ideas and the thinking and the discussions. We need more of that. No hard feelings. Let's just talk what's on our minds. Let's learn from each other. Let's try and be better together. Let's grow together. What's all this stepping on someone else to pull yourself up? Fuck all that, man. Fuck all that. That's not gonna get us anywhere. But tangent, listen, I'm just I'm just letting it flow today. I'm just letting my words flow today because yesterday I was trying to explain something which I had a somewhat of an understanding of, but I used too many words. I used too many words to say something which could have been condensed. And shame on me. Shame on me because an effective explanation. This is something that I was thinking about after I cut off the video. I was thinking an effective explanation is one that is simple, one that is easy to understand because it shows that you have actually comprehended what it is that you're trying to convey. Because I've conceptualized it, condensed it, and made it concise in a way and made it digestible such that you can easily understand it. That was a lot of words. I've made it digestible in a way that you can understand it. And even better if it's information that I have had and I have recapitulated, I have re-understood it and then reframed it to you in my own words because that means I better understand it. And if I can get that down, if I can convey that in with as little words as possible and as concise as possible and then illustrate with examples because people learn the most from examples. Sorry, not examples, stories. People learn better through stories. So what I was thinking yesterday is that it should be simple and then you can just illustrate it with stories and then include the details in the stories, right? The message should be clear, simple, and direct. It doesn't have to be all, it's got to be straight. That way, we both clearly know what we're talking about. But then again, this can't always be the case. But in any case, we have to strive to make sure that it is that way. Because at the end of the day, life is complex. But there's an infinite complexity. So we have to balance that line of order and chaos. Hey, tangent. Let's talk about keto. Let's talk about keto because my face is burning right now. And it's because on keto, you eat a lot of foods that are high in histamine. And histamine is what causes these sorts of flushes. And this also can be caused by like electrolyte imbalances and autonomic dysregulation. So I just really hope that this burning sensation subsides because it's really uncomfortable. And it makes me feel like I'm ill or I've got like a fever or something of that nature. But I don't. I don't have a fever. I generally thought I had a fever this morning. So I had to use a thermometer and think, what's going on? But I'm normal temperature, just my skin right now is burning hot. Vasodilation is causing the vasodilation is causing the blood vessels to dilate. That's what vasodilation is. oh my oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. On top of that, I'm going crazy. No, I'm playing. I'm not keeping it cool. I don't know what to do, but this may be a coincidence, maybe not. Maybe I should look further into it. But they said things like tuna, spinach, things like that, are high histamine foods. And I switched out my mackerel for my tuna. I switched out mackerel for tuna in my meals. And coincidence or not, my face is now burning red. But then again, this has happened before. No. To be fair, to be honest, it doesn't really happen to my face before. It's happened to my feet and other parts of my body. But my face is just It's on fire right now, bro. But yeah, I've been going on for long enough. Um, I've been going on for long enough. I was gonna give a progress update today, but I forgot to weigh myself this morning, so I'll do it tomorrow. And then we can. There's another thing that I wanted to talk about, but I'll save that for tomorrow because I think I've been going on for long enough now as I've reinstated today. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just hang in there, man. Hang in there. Hang in there. I'm hanging in there. You better hang in there. We all gotta hang in there. And eventually we're gonna make it out the other side. See you later and good night.